Why are adventure motorcycles awesome and why do you want one? Stick around a few minutes, we're going to find out. What's up everyone? It's Alex. In this one, we're kind of answering viewer questions and we're also kind of just doing a topic I want to talk about anyway. And by the way, as always, I don't mention it all the time, but if you like what I'm doing here and you like these videos, like and subscribe because it tells me that you guys like it and I will continue to make more of that kind of content for you guys. Real quick, this video was inspired by a question from 2005 Bob Dole, who asked, what if I need a bike that can also go off-road to get to my campsites and or get through roadways in other countries? And that comment was on a video for sport touring motorcycles. So, that's an awesome question. I'm glad you asked. Let's get into it. Yes, adventure motorcycles are awesome, and yes, you probably want one. Assuming, of course, if you can afford it and if you have the room for it and if it's not too damn tall for you and all of these fun things. So an adventure motorcycle basically is a dual-purpose motorcycle that's been injected with steroids and grew up and decided it also wanted to be a touring bike. Not to say that people don't go touring on regular dual-purpose bikes, that happens all the time. If you like touring on light motorcycles, great. Adventure touring motorcycles literally are a dual-purpose motorcycle that has been made way bigger and way more, let's say, road-mannered, so that it serves as a really good touring bike that can also get off the beaten path and get to your campsites and hit bad roadways and all those kinds of things that 2005 Bob Dole was just talking about. And just to catch up the few of you that might not be familiar with dual purpose is literally a dirt bike that has been made roadworthy, for lack of a more long-winded explanation. Dual purpose motorcycle, dirt bike, for the road with mirrors, turn signals, all that kind of stuff on it. So in my response I said, hey, if you want a touring motorcycle that can also get off the road, off the beaten path and do that kind of stuff, you want to look at stuff like Suzuki V-Stroms, like BMW GS adventure bikes, like Yamaha Super Teneres, Honda Africa Twins, KTM Adventure. The list goes on and on and on. This video is not to get into the best ones for that. This video is simply to explain basically what an adventure touring motorcycle is and why it's amazing for most people. So whereas the dual-purpose motorcycle is the Swiss Army knife of motorcycles, you know, basically it does everything fairly well, but it's not the master of anything. You know, a dual-purpose motorcycle is not going to hit the corners as fast as a sport bike. It's not going to be as comfortable on long trips as a big cruiser or big touring bike would be. It's not going to be as well-mannered off-road as a true purpose-made dirt bike would be. You know, you're not going to take a DR650 or something like that and go be able to hit doubles and triples like you would on an RMZ 450 or a KX 450 or, you know, the list goes on. So a dual-purpose motorcycle is good at almost everything, but not the best at anything. That is an adventure motorcycle, but in the touring category. An adventure motorcycle or adventure touring motorcycle is a touring motorcycle that is good at every aspect of touring, but is not the master of any one. Adventure touring motorcycles tend to be very comfortable. They have upright standard neutral seating positions on them. They tend to be pretty quick. They tend to have good enough handling to do some sport riding. They tend to have tall enough suspension and good enough off-road manners to be able to handle some rough terrain, but like, you know, most people, I know there are exceptions, most people are not going to go jump crazy stuff or ride trials on them or anything. And they tend to have enough luggage space, good enough fuel economy, etc. to serve as a touring motorcycle. For most people, an adventure motorcycle is not going to be as comfortable as, say, something like a Goldwing or an Ultra Classic or, you know, Yamaha Venture, insert touring motorcycle here, long range. It's not going to be as good handling for sport riding as a sport bike or even a sport touring bike like an FJR 1300 or similar would be. And it's not going to be as good off-road as a traditional dirt bike or even as a smaller, say, 650 or under dual-purpose bike would be. What it's going to do is, it's going to do all of those things well, and it's going to do them all good enough in one package. So adventure motorcycles for the last probably between 10 to 20 years have really been picking up steam and gathering popularity because of the fact that a lot of people are wanting to tour, a lot of people are wanting to tour in weird, off the beaten path, out of the way areas, and adventure touring motorcycles allow you to do all of that in one package. And then you can also say you want to use it for commuting, great. You want to use it for regular touring, great. It's just a really good all-around package in one thing. The downside, most of your adventure touring motorcycles at this point are a little on the expensive side. Now there are some that are getting old enough now where you can find them really good used, and I'm going to do a video soon on my recommendations for adventure bikes. I'll probably do it like the sport touring video where I will do a best used adventure bikes, and then I will also do a budget one, because there is actually some crossover between some of the bigger dual purpose bikes can also serve as good like light adventure bikes. We'll get into that. But this was just an overview of why adventure bikes are amazing, why they're gaining popularity, and why, if you can afford it and if you have the room, you probably want one. Also, they tend to be a little on the tall side, so a lot of my shorter riders that aren't comfortable being up on their tiptoes and stuff, maybe not for you. But that's it. I wanted to answer that question from 2005 Bob Dole and do a kind of an informative video on the adventure bike thing, because I take for granted that I know what they're all about, but a lot of you may not know what adventure bikes are all about. So that's it, guys. I'm Alex. Peace.